Okay, so we are live with Sean Hutchens. Yay!
Woo!
Uh,
Oh, this is trippy. I can't look at this.
oh, there's Nate. There's Nate. Hey,
Hey,
Nate.
what's up, Nate?
So, I guess you guys are wondering why does Janine have that wig on? I got this wig on because Sean has an afro and I can't let him show me up. That's why I got this wig on.
Listen, your curls are better than mine. I can't do all that. Mine just stay like roll bounce. It just
Look, wait a minute, my wig is not straight. So, to recap, uh, Mariah is Sean's younger sister. And
yep.
I interviewed Mariah last week. And then before that, I interviewed Nathaniel, who is Sean's cousin. Now, this is a funny story. I got Sean and Nate confused.
There's like at least 6 inches between us. Listen, that's why I grew my hair so tall.
I was sharing this out,
Hmm.
and I thought that Sean was Nate, and I get everything all confused. So I had to resend this out with his correct last name because I
Hmm.
put oh my God, I put Sean Shearer. I get everything just so confused. So I'm old, my bad. Okay, so y'all just gonna have to forgive me for this. And Sean is my best friend's son. I have two best friends, Donna and Dion, and their sisters. And I get their kids confused, guys. I do it all the time. I don't know who's who half the time. So, like I said, I'm old. So everybody have to forgive me.
You're not old, you're experienced.
So we are going to go ahead and get into this. Sean, you are a content creator
Hmm.
and a visual artist. So let's go ahead and talk about that. How did you start being a content creator?
I hmm. I guess my journey of being content creating started back in 2012, but I think
Mhm.
it before then kind of predates back to my dad having like a home cam, if I remember correctly. It was like one on the shoulder, and I was always fascinated by the fact that you can capture life and those processes in either photography or film, and then just look back onto it like with home tapes and everything. And it
Mhm.
was something that I wanted to do to kind of like chart my own progress in either my art or just content creating in general. So I did that on and off, and I put anything and everything up because this is before YouTube had its whole like algorithm, SEOs, and companies and stuff like that. I was just putting up random things. I know I think like cow eye dissections back in high school. I put well, God, I did a singing video that has never resurfaced on the internet. I deleted that so fast, and my family and I think one or two people that are in the chat right now know about it. It's gone. It will never exist. But then fast forward to probably 2018, 2019 when I got here. Probably 2018, I wanted to do a little bit more. I wanted to get more serious about it. I wanted to share what I learned and just my process of learning those with other people because I realized when I would tell people, especially when I was working with Disney, that I did this kind of thing, they were interested in seeing how I would create these artworks or how I would create these videos. And it was something that put me into contact with other people that did it and how they went about their processes. I just genuinely love the learning process and executing it. And I guess that kind of went hand in hand with everything as far as learning content creating, making it, and then going about my art and doing the same thing for that.
So let's roll back. You said you worked for Disney. Let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
Okay. So I never went to Disney growing up. In 2015, one of my friends, his name's Jimmy, came out here and did the college program. And essentially, what that is that you come down for 6 months and you can work with Disney doing an internship, and you end up getting college courses if you're still in college. Now, what I did, I graduated college and I ended up coming out here after coming back or coming here in 2015.
Okay, you keep saying here. For people who don't know
Hmm,
you,
gotcha.
what is here?
Okay,
Where do you
so
live?
I am in Orlando, Florida. I'm in Florida, where Disney World's at. I came from Texas, so going from Texas out here, where I'm presently in Florida, to do the college program with Disney back in 2016. So I did that, and my college program was in food and beverage. So when you do your college program, you can put like an application in, and they see kind of where you are best suited and where they need you. And there was
Mm-hmm.
options for like custodial, food and beverage, attractions, guest services, and so on and so forth. And I got put in food and beverage where I worked at Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe. And for those people that don't know what that is or have never been to Disney, it's a restaurant in the Tomorrowland area of Disney, which is like future-esque. And it was, and I kid you not, the busiest quick service restaurant in the world after a 24-hour McDonald's in China, from what they told us. And I didn't
Wow.
believe them until I started working, and they said our guests per hour, how many customers we serve in an hour, averaged about 1,000
Wow.
because there was 12 registers, and I didn't believe them until I started working, and the holidays came up, and our receipt tickets to make the food went here and then down. I did that for about 9 months. Then in 2017 in May, my college program ended. I went part-time slash full-time with another food and beverage location on the other side of the park in Frontierland called Pecos Bill Hotel Inn and Cafe, where I essentially worked in the only restaurant in all of Disney based around Texas. And so when I was working there, people thought that they called me from Texas to work at this restaurant in Orlando, Florida, in Walt Disney World to work at this restaurant. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to politely tell them, no, I just got the short end of the stick and ended up here. So
Mm-hmm.
did that up until about 2019, where I did a TA, which is a temporary assignment for guest experience team, where
Mm-hmm.
essentially I was customer service for Disney, essentially, and I would help guests with anything and everything under the sun. It was a lot of knowledge that I gained, a lot of insight for a lot of different things that I didn't learn in the food and beverage roles. I did that from 2019 up until the holiday of 20 oh nope, holiday 2020 season, and then the pandemic happened, and then I came back, and I was originally at Magic Kingdom when I was doing all those jobs, and then came back after we reopened to Hollywood Studios. I ended up doing the guest experience team and guest relations there, and then May 31st of 2021, I left the company, and I'm doing courier for all of Florida with anything from airplane to medical to industrial parts and stuff like that. So that's kind of my story.
Okay, so I'm gonna rewind. You said that you went to college, and so what college did you go to, and what did you major in?
I went to Sam Houston State University and
Mm-hmm.
I majored in criminal justice.
Now, how the heck did you go from criminal justice to working at Disney?
I wanted to see if the grass was greener on the other side.
And was it?
It depends if you're watering it.
Okay.
So it was a different coin flip, different kind of dynamic. When I was doing criminal justice, I did end up seeing different aspects, different lives. Obviously, in Huntsville, Texas, there's a lot of jails and a prison or two.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to college, my interest wasn't necessarily solely just criminal justice. It was forensic science that I wanted to delve into further, but due to a few circumstances, I didn't get to really go into that. And then, ironically, during college was when I guess, reignited my love for art. And I wanted to do an art degree actually, but when I went to my was it counselor? Yeah, my
Mm-hmm.
counselor. They said, "Yeah, we can do it." They did the paperwork and everything. They said it would be roughly about $80,000. Do you still want to do it? I said, I don't have $80,000. He said, well, I mean, you could always do it after you graduate. I said, I have how many credits left? I just
Mm-hmm.
did it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of just at that point was like, okay, well, I'll get my degree. That way I have my degree and it's something to fall back on. My dad always says that's a good thing to have, which he's not wrong. Um, And honestly, after I graduated, I didn't really have a quick plan to do anything. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I did, but immediately after, and it looked good on a resume, and well, that's kind of ended up how I ended up at Disney. Then I was kind of very convinced by a certain Jimmy. So
Okay. Um, when did you start drawing?
I've always drawn, but as far as I guess consistently, I want to say back in college was probably the most consistent that I started drawing. I had a lot of free time after I did my classes, and it was just something I was like, I like doing it. Maybe I can get better. And I remember doing this is ironic now because it wasn't meant to be. I did the alphabet for Disney characters, and that was
Mm.
like my first big one. So I did like A, I think was Aladdin, B was like Baloo, and I just kind of did the whole alphabet. And I remember I got to Mulan, and one of the people that are watching now, Whitney, actually has my Mulan piece, and I kind of just kept doing it from there. I got a job at a call center, and I could not be on my phone. Obviously, that was a thing. We couldn't really study, and so I brought a sketchbook and I would doodle as I worked right after classes and would work until about 2 a.m. And I just, at that point, started doing art. And then I wanted to learn how to do photography and film without getting the degree. So I put the two together and kind of ended up where I'm at now.
Okay, let's look at some of your pictures, and then you can
Okay.
tell us about them.
Okay. Let me flip the camera.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. All right.
Oh,
Yeah. So now I got to
you
see
got
if
a
I.
whole studio in there, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got the camera doing the mirror thing real quick. There we go. So going from right to left, I guess is the easiest way.
Okay,
So obviously that's a puzzle.
that's a puzzle. Go up. Let me see that better. Get up
Yeah.
on that.
There you go.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I thought it was pretty cool. So right here is a piece I have been obviously not really working on, but working on for the past 2.5 years. This is my art block. This is based on an attraction in Walt Disney World. This is going to be the Carousel of Progress, which was a 4-scene cinematic masterpiece. This was a piece I did for my girlfriend, which is going to be like it was a game that she was playing. Anything with this box character thing is kind of like my own creation kind of thing. It was essentially just something I was doing in various moments in my life, different things. So I have that one, this one, this one, that one, that one, this one. This one right here is a piece I will never get rid of. It's a constant reminder that I can do better and I will do better. It was a Alice in Wonderland piece that I got commissioned to do, and they wanted an oil painting. I started working on it. I didn't like how it came out, and I even told them I did it, but then I ended up spray painting the entire thing, redid an entire piece, felt confident about that one, and ended up giving that one. This is a constant reminder that I can do better and I can't go back to how I was in this mindset. So that's that
Okay, wait a
one.
minute. Go. You said okay. What? Okay, what kind of paint was that originally?
This one is an oil painting.
Okay.
And then this is spray paint because it was the only thing I had that can expressively express myself at how upset I was about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oil paint, for those that have not done it, takes a very, very, very long time to dry. Sometimes oil paint truly never dries. I did a piece for a family friend. It was two 24 by 36s, so it was 24 by 36. I did two of them, and it took me 4 months to work on it
Mm-hmm.
because the paint was still wet. Um, these are all acrylic, all these right here, and I'll go into a little bit more about those. This one's a very special piece.
I like that.
Thank you. When I was working at Cosmic Rays, that was a request I got from one of my coworkers, and I finished the piece, but that was when I ended up moving over to Pecos. I never got to see them because our schedules never matched up. Fast forward until last year, I wanted to give this to them because it's been done for now 3 years, and I had found out that they passed away, unfortunately. So that's a very special piece to me. But there was someone that was a really close friend to them, and I'm good friends with them. I am going to gift that one to them as a hey, I wanted to give you this. It's like a connecting piece. And it was just a very special piece to me, and I to this day am very honored I was able to do it, and unfortunately wasn't able to give it to them, but that is that piece right there. A lot of these pieces here, going this part in, don't really have much significance to them other than me learning and constantly trying to do different things. So, for example, these pieces here, this one and this one, are legitimately just marker on canvases. I was trying to see how that works out. This one right here was just learning how to do different coats, different kind of brush strokes, things like that nature. This one right here is the same thing. This is probably one of my earliest actual paintings that I thought was good. Looking at it now, it's not the best at all. And trust me, I can do better. This one I can't touch because this one's actually charcoal. And this one, if you ever seen a Bob Ross TV show episode, it was me imitating but not doing a video, but attempting to do one brush paintings.
Bob
And
Ross was that guy on PBS. Is that correct? Or,
yes, that is
yeah,
correct.
okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. People say I am like a GV Bob Ross, a great value Bob Ross, or Walmart Bob Ross because of my hair sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what these are. And these, a lot of these, for example, these three up here, 1, 2, 3, and this one right here are other artists. I always like to have other art and I like to get inspired by them. And these are intelligent properties, IPs that I've done, but I don't sell those or anything like that because those are not my characters. And these all, again, are all just learning processes. This one was my first marker piece. This one was an oil paint that I did.
I like
With,
that Kermit the Frog. That's
thank you.
cute.
Thank you. That was
That's
actually,
really good.
thank you. Again, all learning process. This is one of my first black canvas pieces. This one is an acrylic painting that I did. And this isn't really a canvas. This is from a pad, so it's just the paper. And then these are also going to be like a Pokemon. These are going to be a few other shows and stuff. This is from Chip and Dale. Those are my favorite characters, and that's just Chip and Dale there. And then this is Ed and Eddie. These are two pieces of a TV show that greatly
Mm-hmm.
inspires my work and just influences me to do art and try to keep on creating. And I have a whole bunch of other ones that I'm not going to show because I'm not going to show them. A lot of my pieces don't reach the light of day and never will.
Okay, that was interesting. Go back to that elephant one. You said something that it means something to you, or what were you saying?
Do you want me to show you it or do you want to just talk about it?
You can show it again and then and talk a little bit more in depth about that because that one is I really like that one.
Thank you. All right. So this
That's
one,
oh man, that's cool.
thank you, thank you. So essentially, this one was when I was working at Cosmic Rays. One of the older cast members found out I did art, and we were talking on and off about it for probably 3 months while I was there. And she wanted an elephant piece, and so I said, "Yeah, I can do you an elephant piece if you like." So I ended up doing it, and then I ended up leaving that restaurant and went to my other restaurant. And every time I would go back to tell her, "Hey, I have it," even try like connect with her, she was never there. And
Mm-hmm.
then time just got away, and I ended up doing it. This is my second elephant piece because I did one for my mom. Um, but this is my second one, and I called this one Night Walker because elephants at night. But I just wanted to do the color scheme like this as well. So this one, uh, I wouldn't sell this one even if the price was right, just because it means so much to me and it has so much history to it. But it genuinely does
Okay,
touch my
what
heart.
is that acrylic paint? What is that?
Yep,
What
this
did
is
you
all
use?
acrylic. This is all acrylic.
Okay.
There are different brushes that were involved. So there was like a fan brush, which looks like a palm tree that I used for the grass. And then obviously for the elephant, those are just brush strokes that I did back and forth. And the background was already a black canvas, but that's pretty much all it is. And then I put a clear coat, top coat on it, which is why it kind of looks like it has a shine to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that one right there.
Cool. 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 Cool.
Thank
That's
you.
I like that one a lot.
Thank you.
That's great. I
Thank you.
think that's my favorite piece that you just showed.
Thank you. I did have another piece that I did when I could not sleep one night. I was trying to catch up on Walking Dead. Like, what was this? I think 4 years ago? No, 3 years ago. That I did in a span of 5 hours, and I went to bed, woke up, saw it on my easel, and I was like, oh, I really did that. That wasn't a dream. It was a painting of a Disney character from the movie Lilo and Stitch of Stitch, and it was probably my favorite piece. But that
Okay,
one, as of
that
right now,
looks.
it's hanging on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one easily is my favorite piece that I personally have done. And then Kermit the Frog, as far as like applying a skill that I learned and putting and executing it pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you said you do photography. What type of photography do you do?
So I say this up front, I'm not professional at all. I just mostly learn anything and everything that looks interesting that I can try to capture, or just genuinely learning how to capture it in like either the best light or getting a mood or a tone set. So I haven't done it in a while just because I've been busy with a lot of stuff. I usually try to get either people or just live environments, so like anything urban. So seeing like decaying buildings or anything that was something that isn't operating anymore, like payphones that have like graffiti on it, street art, um, anything live in motion, and then anything stationary. Pretty much anything that has characteristics that used to have life, but now it necessarily still has a life, but in a different sense.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any pictures that we can see? No.
No, I
No, man, you knew you were coming on here. Come on now. Come on now.
I'll be honest, I don't have them. I don't have them posted. I don't have them posted in my room or anything like that, which
Uh-huh.
I probably should. But I know printing photos in the right like paper, the right whatever formats and stuff's
Mm-hmm.
kind of expensive. And I
Right.
could just go to Walmart and get 4x6s, but I don't feel like that would be the best way. And I will say now is kind of a good and bad thing that I have, a camera on my phone that does take pretty decent photos.
Mm-hmm.
But also you can take so many photos that it gets kind of overwhelming. And it's like, oh, I just took 127 photos. Now I
Mm-hmm.
have to pick two or three to print off. So
Mm-hmm.
I need to get better about that. And I would bring my camera with me, but my job, I drive way too much and I don't like leaving my stuff in the car.
Right. Right. And
Mm.
it looks like you have two cameras. What model are they?
Yeah, so I have three.
Oh, okay.
One, the first one I got was the Canon Rebel T3i, and
Mm-hmm.
I I love the camera to death. I put clocking in, I think, over 5,000 hours with the video and
Wow.
photos. I had, if I still count them all up, I think I went through about 7,000 photos on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that one unfortunately did kick the bucket earlier this year, and so my buddy is letting me borrow his Canon Rebel T5 that I'm using
Mm-hmm.
currently, and then I have a Nikon, I think I always get this one mixed up. D3500 is what I have right now,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course I have my phone.
Right. Right. That's a good setup. I have the
Yeah.
Canon TI5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with a couple of lenses.
Yeah, I have two lenses right now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I could just show you it because that one's not fixed. This one is the T5, the Canon.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it's the same camera I got. Mm-hmm.
75 300 lens. I have that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the same for the Nikon, but right now they're both fixated, so that way I do my YouTube videos. I have my side capture camera, which is the Canon, and then I have my over the top, which is the Nikon.
So, are you currently selling any of your art?
Like the ones on the wall.
Yeah.
So ironically, I am. I do have them for sale. I had gotten a scam. It was like this cryptocurrency person who we were talking for a decent amount of time, and I already was skeptical about it. But he offered. We ended up talking, and we settled for 1,200
Mm-hmm.
for 10 pieces. I was going to ship them out, and then of course, he did the whole scam thing, and I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
decline. So, I mean, I have them for sale, but they don't sell. Some of them don't sell. I genuinely want to make prints because that's what actually got me into doing painting. Because my first medium that I started was color pencil because one, it was cheap and it was the cleanest thing I can have while I was in college. But I wanted to make prints because when I came down here to Disney the first time in 2015, we went to an art store and I saw an original painting that was $80,000.
Whew.
And I said, oh, but then below it, it had what they had were like artist prints. So it was like
Mhm.
one of 95. So they had 95 of those same painting just on a smaller canvas. And they were like $500, $600. And then
Mhm.
below that, they had like the, lithographs and like the 4x6s and they sold those. And one of my friends was like, you can do that, right? You can make one painting or one
Mhm.
drawing and you can do those kind of things. And I was like, that's actually really smart because if someone wants it, but I don't want to make another original, I could make a print and they would be fine with that. And some people can't afford an $80,000 painting, but someone can
Right.
afford a $15 like 4x6. And that's what I really wanted to do, and that's why I started doing those kind of art pieces. Now, granted, if it's like Mickey Mouse or like Daffy Duck, I can't sell those because those aren't
Right.
mine. So that's why I wanted to start doing my own characters and stuff. But of course, that there's that learning curve of learning my own style, and that's been my biggest hurdle and my biggest, I guess, passion the past 2 years.
Okay. Does anybody have some questions that they want to ask Sean? Now's the time. Go
I
ahead.
see.
Type those questions in.
Hey Nate. Hey Raquel. Hey Whitney. Mariah. Hey Josh. Hey Paul. I'm trying to see. MLW Fishing Man. Hello, hello. Thank you, thank you. I love finding artists at farm markets. So I love going to farmers markets and I love supporting artists too, especially, obviously I do art. I love going to there and seeing their art, talking to them. I can go to an art museum or I can go to a farmers market or art festival and I can talk to one person. As long as they want to talk to you, I can genuinely talk to them. I was doing a delivery out in Fort Myers, and I ended up going to an art studio, and I talked to an artist, Diana Holmer, I believe her name was, and we talked for about 4.5 hours of just art. Okay, let me see.
What? Okay. It says, what one
I see
piece of
it.
art you would love to draw?
Ooh, so as in like just drawing it or
That's what he.
draw?
I'm not really sure. A Mac, can you be a little
Oh,
bit?
hey, Mac, what's
Yeah.
up? That's my brother from another mother. One art piece that I would love to draw. So I guess if I were to just keep it as a drawing, um, that's kind of hard. I got into doing drawing because I know my mom actually did a drawing. I remember it was an Easter drawing. It was a kid in an Easter bunny costume with glasses. I remember she did that, and then my dad, he would always draw like these 3D boxes in pen, and those two kind of came together, and I was like, oh wow, they can do that. I kind of want to do it. So I guess to inspire my like thinking, one piece of art that I would love to draw, and I'm terrible at drawing them, is like a genuine car. I want to rebuild a 1967 Chevy Impala. Um, I would love to draw that black chrome accent and everything on a pretty decent sized paper, like an 18 by 24 would be one thing I would love to draw. Mariah had asked a question further up. Um, I shaved my head bald. Why was that? So it depends. There were 2 times I had very short hair, and I personally don't like short hair. I think I look like a peanut head, and I know I get, as the kids say, flamed for it. So one time that I got a cut was by a college friend who I wanted a haircut. He said he can do a haircut. He cut it, and it was just a little too short than what I liked, and I let my hair grow back out. And then fast forward, I was getting my hair cut for it wasn't for college. It was for something. I was getting a haircut and the barber I used to go to, he got into some legal trouble. So then I was trying to find another barber. And in Huntsville, Texas, there's not many people that can cut, people of color hair. So I got recommended to go to this one barber. And I get there, and it was this older white lady, and I had a flat top at the time, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I can cut flat top." And I said, "Oh okay, chef, I don't judge, I don't judge." So I let her do her cuts, and there was a lot of red flags that started showing up. And she she didn't comb my hair out. She just started cutting. I said, "That's different. Okay, maybe she knows like how it's gonna shape up and everything." And then,
Mhm.
you know, she was doing her thing, and she starts talking, and it's like, "Yeah, this and the fourth." And then I remember it was almost in sync. She went like this to do the top part of the
Oh.
buzz cut for like the top half,
Mhm.
and she said, "I actually never done a flat top," and I felt the razor against my scalp. And she said it was actually this Puerto Rican guy that worked here, but he doesn't work here anymore. I would always just watch him, and I never asked him how he did it. And I said, "Excuse me." And as soon as I felt that, my heart dropped, my blood just turned to ice, and I sat there. I said, she had so much hair to work with, and she just touched my scalp.
Mhm.
And she showed me a mirror. I looked, I went like this, and I saw a bald spot. I said, got up, gave her the money, walked out, and A. Mac is in the chat. I called him, and he saved the day, and I've learned never to go off another word of another person. And from that point on, I came down here to Florida. That was actually close to graduation. I let my hair grow out, got
Mhm.
graduation. Did not cut my hair from that point all the way until I came down here. 2016, October 2nd was when I got my hair cut. I went to hair cuttery. There was black lady. She already knew how to do it. Cool. And then fast forward when we ended up moving, um, I ended up going to this barber. His name's Jose. He has been my barber from that point all the way up until now. He is like
Mhm.
Leonardo da Vinci with the blades, cuts, and everything. He could get like the ruler, the protractor, everything, get the angles all right, have the smooth fade. Granted, I haven't gone there in a while just because obviously. But to long wind answer that question, that is why I had my hair cut short.
Okay, Josh Muniz, what's your favorite type
Yeah.
of medium to work with?
Ooh. So as far as skills go, I would say color pencil because that's the one I've been doing the longest. That's the one I'm most comfortable with. That is easily one I can just get the material, go start working on it, and call it a day. I don't exaggerate when I say with color pencil. Piece wise, I have done one, two, I filled at least four sketchbooks worth. So that's over 200 drawings, give or take, with color pencil. So that's my most comfortable. But my favorite to genuinely work with, I would have to say would be oil painting because it's so nice and you can work with it for so long. But
Mm-hmm.
downside of that, it takes so long to work with it. And I'm the kind of person that if I'm starting on something, I can just keep going and keep going, keep going and doing it. My most ambitious one is going to be digital art. AMAC is letting me borrow an iPad Mini, which has a program called Procreate, which lets you draw on the
Mm-hmm.
tablet and make digital art. That's been my biggest hurdle and my biggest, I guess, ambition to create. So my favorite medium as of right now is colored pencil, and I've been dabbling with a few other ones, such as a lot of ink work and a lot of watercolor. It is a beautiful, beautiful medium, very hard to master between the contrast of the water and the paint pigments.
Mm-hmm. Okay, your mom says in high school you played a couple of instruments. What were they?
All in all, so in high school, I officially played the regular clarinet, the B flat clarinet, the one everyone's used to. I played the bass clarinet, I played the contrabass clarinet, the contra alto, and the alto clarinet. And these are all just the same family, different kind of sizes and sounds and stuff. Alto saxophone for jazz band, and there was a brief, very brief moment in time I played the oboe, but that was very brief. That was like one or two times. So officially, if you were to just look at my high school, it was clarinet and saxophone. Those are the instruments I played. I still have them. I still play them every now and then. I have a guitar that is like a room artifact. but also it's a piece that I pick up every now and then. And keyboard. I really want to learn keyboard. There's so many utilizations of it, but that's college and now that I've been trying to learn.
Okay, Tasha says, "What's the most fun art you did and enjoyed, and would redo it again?"
The most fun. That is a hard one. Mm. Okay, so there's a few. Um, the top one, the one off the top of my head, would be the stitch painting I did. It was something I legitimately said, okay, I want to do this.
What's the stitch painting? Explain that.
Let me see. I don't know if I can find it. So it was I can't pull it up on my computer. It was a piece that I did that was just a very beautiful stitch painting. It was dark, but it had the right lighting to it. And Stitch was just reading a book to like some ducks and everything. Or not to some ducks. There was a duck on the cover. And I had no idea how to do the brush strokes. I had no idea how to create this painting, but I pretty much just said, all right, let's just try it. And I ended up getting a brush and I ended up just doing this to it the
Mm-hmm.
entire time. I just like did that. And it
Mm-hmm.
was coming out pretty well. I did like a very basic sketch on it. I did it. And 4.5 hours later, I finished it. And that was when I said I went to bed, woke up, and I was surprised I did it. I would love to do that one again. And then there was a color pencil piece I did of a video game franchise called Kingdom Hearts. I did it was 6 pages of a 9 by 12, so it was technically a 18 by 27 color pencil piece. I did that over the course of 45 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it took 45 hours for that piece, and it was the most beautiful color pencil piece I've ever done. I would love to do that one again. But right now it's hard because with content creating and a lot of side projects I don't have a lot of real estate for it or a lot of bandwidth to mentally do that because I have 22 pieces I'm working on that I need to get done by the end of this year. And a lot of them have different deadlines. So that is going to be two pieces that I would love to redo and have fun doing.
Have you ever shown in a gallery?
This is going to be a good correlation. Some pieces I'm working on, I actually have 6 pieces that I'm going to be doing for a gallery in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my friend from high school, she had showed her professor, and professor really liked my work. It was actually, I can show you the piece that got the interest of. There we go. It was this piece right here. And there's an art style called stippling where essentially you just do a lot of dots. And it was this
Yeah.
piece
Okay.
here.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm.
So all these are dots. And this one was 75,035 dots. And they really liked it. They liked how the contrast came out, how it looked. So they said, hey, do you want to do some pieces for our gallery next year? And I said, sure. They gave me a prompt and everything of what they wanted. And it was just my interpretation of it. And so one piece I have been working on that is right here. I don't like showing unfinished work because it looks
Mm-hmm.
completely weird, but I can show you. This one's called Hope. And essentially, I don't know, the camera's not going to focus. All
Oh, wow, that's cool.
these are all dots. I
Yeah,
think
I like that.
I think this is over 75,000 dots by itself.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like 0.1 size pins, but the entire page is going to be all dotted except for one spot, which is going to be white. And the whole premise of it is that as long as you have hope, there is light somewhere in the darkness. So,
Ooh, look at you getting all deep.
you know,
Okay.
I got you, I got you. So that's what that piece is. The other 5 are called True Values, Esoteric, Love Listens, Subconsciously Conscious, and Progression Process. So those are the other 5 pieces names. And I want to reach out to them and see if there are different mediums that they'll accept or if they only want ink. Because if they want ink, I'm going to say I'm going to spend probably 400 hours, maybe 500 hours to do all of them. Because this one alone is probably going to be maybe 60 hours by itself, 60 to 70 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But they also want it recorded and filmed. And that's the hardest part because for those that aren't used to like data sizes and stuff, when you do a video, that's maybe, I don't know if it's the same for you, but if you do like a 10-minute video, it could be a gigabyte worth of data or maybe two or three, depends on your file sizes and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
doing a file that big right now on my computer, it is, how big is this file? Right now, that one is 84 gigs worth of data. And, data's kind of expensive and not a lot stored. So I had to buy a separate external hard drive to store
Mm-hmm.
these projects on since they're going to be such a long time coming.
Okay, your mom says, what was your favorite place to visit in New York?
The Museum of Modern Art.
Hmm.
I actually have a magnet right here. It was essentially
Cool.
it was a beautiful museum and it had art galore. It had Salvador Dali, it had George O'Keeffe, it had Picasso, it had Van Gogh. It was just so amazing to go and see all of this art and so much genuine creativity, expressionism, um, just going into an element that I have so much love for and admiration, and seeing these iconic pieces and landmark creations that also influence with time and events. It was just, I kid you not, I could spend all day, all week there. There was so many galleries, so many different artwork and styles. I can look at a piece of painting for probably significantly longer than anyone would care to, and just see how they did the strokes or how they were feeling, or you could see like the emotion they're going into. So I think that was my favorite. And then I love history, so I would say the National Museum of History was
Mm-hmm.
probably my second favorite.
Okay. Um, do you ever see yourself doing like a really big installment, like take up the whole wall type of situation?
Yes. So the only thing stopping me, because I've been wanting to do this, and I don't want to spoil it because it may still happen, but I guess I can kind of tell. There was a piece I wanted to do, and I wanted to get a 72 by 72 canvas. Now that's a 6 foot by 6 foot. I have
Mm-hmm.
a station wagon, does not fit a canvas that big. I would have to get a truck and get it here, but also timing. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to do a mosaic piece of all the Bob Ross paintings for two reasons. One, there's 403, so I would do 403 different paintings on this one canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it would be so much learning and so much trial and error to make his canvases on a piece this big and still have the detail in it, would be something I would love to do. But also, I would love to do an entire wall of
Mm-hmm.
just full on whatever comes to my mind, just do it and then go from there. I would love to do those. Those are two very big, ambitious projects that I would love to do. I would just love to sit here and be like, you know what? We can do that. Oh, also, here's our cat. Hey, Milo. Hey, I'm doing a video now, buddy.
Milo pops in.
All right. He's right here now. He's upset. But those are two pieces that I would love to do. I would really love to do airbrush and spray paint, because just seeing
Mm-hmm.
street art and how well they make something blended, I would just love to do that. Now, granted, spray paint I kind of can't do in the house, and
Mm-hmm.
you can do it outside, but you got to worry about the overspray and stuff like that. But those are two pieces I would love to do. I would love to do that if I had the ability to get a canvas that big to just full on express myself in giant brush strokes, little details, massive details. I would love to do that.
Okay. I got some craziness to say.
Ah,
You guys are like, what's wrong with Janine? What's wrong with her? What I want to do is get like a big canvas,
okay.
put myself in a whole bunch of paint and just roll around on it.
So, okay, kid you not, I was going to do that as far as one of these commission pieces for the exhibition. I wanted to do something that incorporated myself. So I contemplated doing a painting. Oh, I'm doing a video.
Bring him on over here. Put him in your
Oh.
lap. I don't care. Put him in your lap.
This is
Poor
what he wants.
kitty.
So I wanted to do a piece where I essentially have the painting of me. Oh, what are you doing?
Oh!
Knocking things over, making a mess. Now he's all scared. So I wanted to do a piece where I essentially had half of me painted, and I press myself on the canvas, and then I would have that painting aspect of me painting that version of me, and that painter is getting drawn out. So the entire thing would be a progression. So it would go from a finished project that would turn into a sketch idea that would turn into like just scribbles and stuff. And I wanted to do that, but there's a few obviously reasons to find a canvas that is big enough for me and I can lay out, because that's going to have to take time to dry and I need space to do it.
Right. So I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. No, I've wanted to do that for so long. I wanted to do things like that, like paint with my hands and everything. I love being involved with your art. So like finger painting, or like
thank you.
Part of your body's like, going like using your elbow. If you dip it in bread, you do this, and blue, you do this, and keep going like that, and just do a whole thing. I love doing that kind of incorporation.
Man, like, you and I are like this. I thought, because see, certain people I just cannot talk to because they think, oh, she's weird. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts like that where, like I want to dip myself in paint and roll around in it, like different colors.
Yeah.
And then maybe sprinkle some gold dust onto it or something like that.
Yeah. So I did a painting because I was all learning. I did a painting where I got royal gold and I got regular gold, and I wanted to use it as a background to do a highlight. And one piece I've had in my mind for the past 4 years was an invert piece where essentially there's like it's like a whole like goddess thing for like Greek mythology where they're holding a staff and everything, and they're wearing like black clothing, but then their like jewelry, their staff is all gold, and then it drips down and it flips over, and the other half is going to be the opposite. So it's like that's going to be black and that's going to be gold. So I agree with you 110%. I would that. Listen.
Oh my God! I found somebody who thinks like me, kind of. Man, see, I'm not crazy.
Not crazy at all. Not crazy at all. Listen, art is the most expressive way where we can all say we're a little mad here and be perfectly fine with it.
Man, see there? I knew you were the one.
Listen, the little marble up here is rolling around. It catches it every now and then. Broken clock is right twice today.
Man, see, I knew you were the one. It's when you're around people who aren't creative, you kind of, if you say things that, they might think that something's wrong with you, that you're weird or you're crazy. So a lot of times I keep my thoughts to myself because I have like a lot of really cool ideas up here, but I'm not surrounded by artists anymore, especially since COVID happened. I'm kind of like isolated to myself, whereas pre-COVID, I used to go to like different poetry readings, and I could say whatever and wouldn't get judged. But now it's kind of like don't really have anybody to talk to.
And that is hard relating to that, because when you get around like-minded people, for example, when you're a musician and you're around other musicians, you feed off that energy. You just go back and forth, back and forth. When other photographers or cinematography or artists get around those people, they just click back and forth, back and forth. So like we can go banter tit for tat, and I would just keep going. I can make up a whole scenario for an entire like storyboard to do filming. I was like, oh yeah, well we can do like a noir thing. We can be based in the 1940s. We can sit here and be outside like a bar and be in an alley, and going from there around the corner, you see the beetle just creeping up right here. But then in the back, you hear someone like messing with like cats or something like that and bottles and stuff, and just keep going from there. And we can go back and forth. You'd be like, oh well, the camera has to be here for that kind of dynamic shot, and go from there. But it is harder now with COVID that, when it first came up and it's been going, that's like, oh, well, we kind of can't link up with this, that, and the fourth. But they're
Mhm.
having ways around it where, especially with content creators, they can go, you know, virtual meetings like this. It doesn't have the same aspect, but you have that ability to talk to them, to kind of get those ideas and go from back and forth and be like, okay, well, we can do this or this and this. And it kind of opened different ideas and different kind of dynamics and shots because you can take, I'm here in Florida, say you were in New York or you could be in California, and you can go try to capture that same essence,
Mhm.
but in those different areas. It has opened different things, but it has closed a lot of doors that were open
Mhm.
at that time.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So, yeah, I get everything that you're saying. I mean, yeah, it's been really difficult as somebody who is creative and uh not having those people around anymore.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel a little disconnected, or how are you feeling?
So it's a little bit difficult to answer that. I don't want to say with everything going on because my work causes me to travel so much. Like I
Mhm.
will be from here, I can drive 400 miles one way and go back and forth. So I get that opportunity to still interact with people and go to the different places. But prior to everything going down, I never really had that kind of interaction consistently enough where I can say I had that history. I did
Mhm.
make a lot of art friends out here. Jamie and Jennifer are two that come in my mind, and I do get to see them every now and then, and I get to see them now more, so they
Mhm.
move closer. But we would pass ideas and stuff, and I will say social media kind of helped with that because that's how I got to know them and get to talk to them through there and see their work. And then obviously in like private chats and direct messages, you can go back and forth. But it's hard because I'm not around a lot of other content creators that
Mhm.
I get to talk to on a regular basis or see how other people create those kind of things. I get to see that being done when I was working with Disney and getting to go to all these places and obviously getting to talk to you and maybe a few other people through Instagram is my main primarily source of contact and through Reddit. But um when I did get to interact with people on a consistent basis like that were kind of in the same field that genuinely shared my interest in my art and what I was doing, it did damper it probably, I want to say, the beginning of 2020 until I had moved recently at the end of 2020. I want to say probably those 7 months, it was kind of hard. And things are getting back to it, but
Mhm.
it's just kind of going.
Mhm. Mhm. Where do you find your inspiration? How do you, if there's something like you look at something and say, oh, let me paint this, or let me videotape this, or let me take a picture of that. Where does that, where does all of that come from?
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere and everywhere. So a lot of it comes from if I'm watching something or if I had this idea a long time ago, but I didn't have the ability to do it, either skills or the confidence. A lot of it comes down to like my own self-destructive of not being confident enough to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going obviously when I went to New York and going to Disney has a annual art festival in the beginning for about a month or so. And when I go there and I get to talk to those artists, a lot of inspiration came from that, or seeing some of my friends make something, or just pop culture, social medias, and stuff like that. Those are where a lot of my inspiration comes from. And then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I will not be able to sleep, and I'll just be laying there, and I'll be thinking dumb things like, "Why doesn't glue stick to the inside of the bottle?" or something dumb like that. I'm like, "What if I did this?" And I would make up a whole scenario, and then I would just in a sketchbook that no one really sees, just
Mm-hmm.
brainstorm half my stuff. I'll write random, I'll be on my phone and I'll just write notes and stuff. I'll write like a whole little script, but
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much where my inspiration comes from. But since I've been doing YouTube more consistently, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
it just comes down to, and it sounds bad, it's like, okay, I have a week because the algorithm, you have to do so much and you have to please the algorithm to make it benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I have to make a video this week. What can I do that one I can execute in a week, or if I need 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, how far out can I plan and do those things? that's where my inspiration comes from. I did my first multimedia piece a few weeks ago, and that one just came down to me not knowing what to do, but wanting to do watercolor, wanting to test out some markers I got, wanting to use color pencil because I'm comfortable with it, and my least favorite thing is inking because I'm terrible at it and I mess up. But I was like, how can I mix all these together, and what would be the best way to do it? And I was like, what if I just do like two pieces and combine them together?
That
And
sounds
that,
cool.
yeah, I can show you real quick.
Let me see that. Let me see that.
Yeah,
That sounds cool.
I gotcha. So it was this piece right here. The background is completely watercolor.
Uh huh.
This was on a separate paper, and this has marker, color pencil,
Mhm.
inking, and then
Mhm.
I made a whole video of it, ended up putting it on, and then it became this one piece right here.
Yeah.
So that genuinely just came down to me wanting to create something and see if I can do it, and I did it. And
Man, I'm so I am just totally feeling everything that you are saying,
thank you.
and it goes beyond age because a lot of times people my age uh, feel like they have nothing in common with somebody that's younger than them.
Hmm.
But right now, everything that you're, oh my God, I'm getting misty, people. I'm getting misty. Oh, oh, actually, I cry so much on these interviews. I hate that I do that, but I
Listen,
just start.
why?
Oh my
Your express
God!
your
Ooh,
emotion is 100%. You're
I
fine.
hate when I start crying on these interviews. But whew, I'm just I'm totally understanding what you're saying, and it's just like, wow, somebody out there freaking gets me, and it's just like, and it goes, and art goes beyond age. A lot of older
Mhm.
people my age do not want to speak to people your age because they think that they don't have anything in common, or they think that the younger person uh, won't respect what they're trying to say to them, or vice versa. And I think we need to just break all of that down. You know,
Yeah,
I can learn something from you. Older people, don't be afraid. Don't think you can't learn something from a younger person because you can. An old dog can learn new tricks. Okay, young older people, an old dog can learn new tricks and
and
beat.
like you said,
So
art does not have an age, which is
right.
100% accurate because I was self-taught. I only went to like an art class in 8th grade. Um, I do decent art, but then there's like obviously people that are like, I don't know, there are kids that are like 12 that are doing these beautiful art pieces. Then there are older people that are like, 70, 80 that have been doing art for like 40, 50 years, and
Hmm.
they have done this one art style, they've done this one medium, but they've never touched this because they're not good at it. And you can learn from both of them. It's like, oh, well, how did you do this? Oh, I did this and the fourth. Oh, you're
Hmm.
doing this. How did you do this? And no one is going to know everything, and no one is perfect at anything. There are
Hmm.
people that are very well versed in what they do and very good at their craft, and you can learn
Hmm.
so much from them. But there is always something different that you will learn from an older person, a younger person, especially with technology too. I mean,
Hmm.
it's advanced so fast in 20 years, and the amount of products that have been open and the amount of different films, the cameras, the oil paints, the I don't know adhesives that they use and stuff like that. There's
Hmm.
limitless amounts of knowledge you can gain from either party.
Hmm. Well, okay. So I'm gonna open it up for more questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and let Sean go. Sean, do you
Yeah.
want to plug your sites for your different YouTube and your
Oh.
different Instagram?
Um, I'll make a comment right here. It's Agent 00 Sonic on all platforms. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Anything and
Mhm.
everything under the sun is the same exact thing. I try to be consistent for two reasons. One, it's easy for people to find me, and two, if I didn't, I would forget my name.
Okay. It said, please drop Sean's link at Janine's World. Did you? I thought you just.
I don't know how to do that on chat. Let me
I
see if I
don't
can
either.
do it. Let me see. If I can go to my, let me see if I
I
can just
don't
go to
know
my
how to
page
do
real quick.
StreamYard, really,
Let me see.
guys.
Go to my channel. All right, and this is it right here. All right, there we go. I just put the link as a
I
comment.
I think what I'm going to do when I get
Okay.
off is put it in the give me a blue jacket and I will do that. Jay, I don't even know how to do them jackets. I'm embarrassed because I'm not good at doing StreamYard. I'm embarrassed. This is a friend of mine, Jay Mike.
Hey,
He
Jay.
lives in the Philippines. And
Oh, what part?
what part of the Philippines do you live in, Jay?
My girlfriend's from the Philippines.
Yeah, I know that. Jay, what part of the Philippines do you live in? We'll wait for him to answer that
Okay.
question. But he has been a huge help for me. Him and Darren Dobson. Darren Dobson lives in Canada. So
Ooh.
those two people helped me out quite a bit. I have not, oh, she said she lives right out of Metro Manila.
Okay. Like north or what direction outside of Metro?
I guess he'll say.
Yeah. But I will say the hardest part I think about doing all this too is that for every minute of like a YouTube video that I create, I spend at
Mm-hmm,
least an hour to 2 hours with the editing. So if I'm making a long video, it'll
mm-hmm,
take me, I think I easily put roughly 20 to 40 hours a
mm,
week on between editing the video, creating the video, getting everything set up. You see the lights behind me, getting the camera angle set up, getting the monitors going, all the materials. Antipolo. Oh, okay. My girlfriend's family's from Aklan and Manila.
okay, cool. So
Mhm.
you guys have something in common there. That's pretty cool.
Plan on going there someday in the future, but it's a little expensive to go. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, so when I'm done with this, I will put the link to all of your stuff in the description. That's
okay,
the best I can do.
that works.
I don't know how to create jackets. I don't know how to put that little runner underneath the video. Any of that. I have to watch the StreamYard, you know, tutorials, which I haven't done. But
Okay,
anyways, does anybody have any other questions for Sean?
let
Let's
me
wait a
know.
little bit.
I'll answer anything and everything. Um, I'm working on a piece right now for my video that I'm going to drop Saturday. Fingers crossed. If I get
Mm-hmm.
time to work on it. This one, essentially, I will have an hour to use as many ink, like Sharpies, pens, um, ballpoint pens, liners, and stuff like that to make a piece, and it can't be any references, it has to be straight from my mind. So that's something I'm going to be doing. And then I have a few other pieces. I did a guess this drawing kind of sort of thing. I did like a color palette where I said, if you can guess what drawing this is by these colors, I'll give you the drawing. And I had 140 guesses and no one got it right.
Mm.
And so what I'm gonna do on this sketchbook right here,
Okay.
it's an 18 by 24. I'm gonna draw all the guesses as the one drawing. And then I will make some prints and I will give those out. There was one person that did genuinely guess the drawing,
Good.
and I called them, and I'm gonna give them the original. So
Okay. Okay. He told me to click on the chats option. I don't even know where that is.
On my end, I have it at the bottom of my phone, but
I'm clicking on it. See, I'm gonna mess something up. I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to because I don't want to lose you again.
it. Oh, I think she lost me. Did she get off? I think she. Oh yeah, it is just me. Well, hey everybody. This is
I'm back.
There she goes. This
See, I
is
don't know what
I
I'm
guess my
doing.
solo stream.
I don't know what I'm doing. There are three dots on each chat. Oh Lord. Three dots on each chat. Okay. You know what, Jay? I'm not gonna mess with this because obviously I don't know what I'm doing because I just got out and had to come back in. I better wait and watch these videos before I click out of this and can't get back on. I'm
Oh,
not trying
okay.
to. I'm
Oh,
scared.
there
See,
was
if my
one
husband was
there.
here, if my husband was around, I would have him do all this because he's a engineering genius and he knows
Mhm.
how to do stuff. I just kind of like
Oh,
I'm just kind of like I'm just happy to be able to get on. I'm not
thank you,
good
Jay.
with technical stuff.
I saw the
Okay.
comment. See your artwork a lifetime last 12 I see that. Thank you.
Good.
The time
Okay.
lapses, I love doing them, but they take so much space on my hard drives that if the piece is longer than 4 hours, I have to edit half of the video, delete the footage, then make another video, then put that footage back on. But I love doing them. I like to flex artwork in progress amongst other things. Okay, yeah, I'll check out your channel.
Yeah. So, your mom said, "What do you like to do in your free time?"
I don't have a lot of free time. So, and it sounds crazy to say, I just genuinely love making video and making content and doing art. So I guess that's kind of the hard thing because I love doing that in my free time. Um, I do play a lot of Nintendo games. I end up playing the Switch. I end up obviously I talk to my family. I play some games on my computer and mostly just trying to figure out the best way I can use my time to the most optimal ability. Probably try to sleep because I know I need to do that more, but
Mm-hmm.
I have such a busy and live mind that I don't really have a lot of free time. I do it to myself, and I guess long story short, sleep. I think that's the only free time I really have. Like when I wake
Wow.
up, I'm thinking, okay, well, I got to use this much time to get the most out of my day to do this, that, and the fourth, and 15 other things. But I do like to. My girlfriend got me this thing called 21 Draw, which is a whole site dedicated to learning different arts and stuff. I guess I would say using that to, I guess, further progress my art career and various other things. I do watch some shows. I am not caught up on everything, but I watch a lot
Mm-hmm.
of Netflix, um, HBO. My comfort movie is Jurassic Park. I could watch that one and be perfectly fine with it 10, 20 times over. So I guess that's probably my free time.
Okay. Okay. Jay is leaving.
Oh, bye, Jay. Sorry, I have my computer here, so bye, Jay.
I appreciate him coming on. I go on his channel quite a bit. Actually, I haven't been on YouTube too much lately.
Mhm.
I kind of been kind of sort of taking a break because I don't know about you. I get kind of burnt out on social media. So, I haven't been on here as much or posting as
Yeah,
much because, sometimes I gotta, you just step back and just take a little breather,
yeah.
and just try to go for walks or be around people because I can't, I don't know if that's my age talking or
No,
what.
it.
I get burnt out on social media. Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. I went on like a small hiatus, not a small hiatus. I think it was like 7 months on Instagram because I was just trying to keep I know it sounds bad. I was trying to please the algorithm to get myself
Mhm.
going, and then I didn't hop on TikTok. when it obviously blew up from Musically to TikTok, and so now I'm like playing the catch up. But I definitely have reached multiple burnouts on social media, especially on YouTube. Trying to make a new video every single week, or doing a
Mm-hmm.
short or something like that, just to please the algorithm, and that's been the hardest part. Like, was it? It's Thursday at 9 p.m. I need to make a video by Saturday in order to keep it going, to keep it. It's like, oh, he's making stuff, he's going, but
Mm-hmm.
it does get tiring. I get very tired of trying to, okay, well, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And trying to plan it out, but also be like, well, if I don't finish it in this time, I still have to manage to do this. And I know there's been times where I will hurry up, make a video, record it, put it in, edit it, try to get it all said and done
Mm-hmm.
by Saturday at midnight, and it won't happen. And sometimes it's pushed to Monday or Tuesday, then I have to keep going because then I have
Mm-hmm.
5 days left. I I I completely agree with you. The burnout is real and it's hard, especially when you're trying to make content and trying to get your stuff out there and still being consistent, but still doing something you enjoy and wanting to do. But you don't want that need to want to get blurred together, and then you're kind of like in a weird dystopian product of your own environment.
Time loop.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
Okay, your sister says, do you see yourself getting married in the future? And do you plan to continue to do art in the future?
Because you're my sister, obvious, duh. But as like the professional answer, well, obviously, yeah, I do, I really do. I love her
Mm-hmm.
to death, and she has been very supportive through a
Oh.
lot of things been going on in my personal life and in my art, and she's helped me out. Her name's Claudine. She's been my number one fan and has helped me through so many things. And I actually called her last night to ask her for help for this week's video as far as trying to make it. She's always been A1 day one phenomenal person. I do plan on continuing art. I will do art every single day until I cannot do art. If something were to happen to my hand, I will draw on my feet, or I will paint with my mouth. I will use my body. I will just have someone open the paint and use it. So I do plan to continue doing art because I will continue to evolve and just change and learn from my mistakes and progression. Yeah. So long story short, yes to both answers.
Oh, very good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've had you on here for quite some time. I really enjoy our conversation because
Yeah.
people, these are just not interviews. These are just for me, just having a conversation with somebody, and we just happen to be recording it.
Yeah. I would love to
So,
interview you sometime.
what you want to interview me?
Yeah, to see if
Okay,
you can see my
cool.
channel, so I can do like a quick like 5 minute one. I mean, on obviously like you've done this, but I want to know what was your inspiration? Like, what got you wanting to do the interviews, the editorial, the acting, the everything under the sun? What inspired you? When did you start? I know it's a lot all at once, but obviously you have some inspiration. You started somewhere.
Well, we ain't gonna do that right now because we're
I
not gonna be on
know,
here all night.
I know.
When I get off, when I get off, we can talk about that. But Sean, it has been a pleasure. My oh my God, I'm here. I go again. It's been my pleasure
It's
to
been my
talk
pleasure.
to talk with you, to talk with your sister, to talk with Nathan. You know, my friends Don and Dion. I've been friends with your mom since I've been 11 years old, and oof, here I go again.
Oh, there she goes.
But just having your mom and your auntie in my life has made such a difference for me. Just having them in my life, and now to have their kids in my life, it's just a phenomenal thing. You guys have just turned out just really wonderful, and just being
Thanks.
able to be around you guys as well as my niece and nephew. I feel
Someone's cutting onions. There's onions
oh
going.
Lord, I feel I feel loved, and that is very important to have that, especially now with everything going on in this world. Just to have um, people in your life that make a difference. And I think that all you people, your mom, your aunt, you kids, my niece, nephew, have just really add value to my life. And I thank you so much for this interview. And I'm going to get off because I'm going to start crying again.
Thank you for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You were like my first interview that I had, and it was genuinely an amazing time. So thank you for having me, and thank you everyone in the chat for asking questions and being here. And if you haven't already subscribed to Jeannie's World, check her out. Obviously, you're already here, but if you haven't hit subscribe, it costs you no money. Takes you 0.5 seconds to click that thing. Just go ahead and do it. You know.
And also, check out Sean. He is a fabulous artist. I've been watching some of his videos, and not just visually, the dude, when he was in high school, that dude can play that saxophone. I'm hoping that he will one day come on my show and play the saxophone because he can
Uh,
play.
gotta get those rusty joints out. Gotta flex my lungs. Gotta practice a little bit. But thank you. I will. And I know we're ending and everything like that, but I do like to incorporate all my arts that I have learned. So I want to start making in the future more music and everything like that. I want to get back into that, making my own original stuff. Since it's a lot of jazz instruments, I want to make some jazz music, go take some classes and learn and incorporate that. But I when I get to a decent sound that doesn't sound like I'm killing cats or ducks, then I would love to go and perform.
Okay, love you.
Love you
We're
too.
getting
Thank you.
off. Check out Sean's sites. I'm going to put
Thanks
it in the
everybody.
description. Love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Bye
Thank you. Bye bye.
bye.